What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, the economy, what's going on with the president and inflation, gas prices. We cover it all here on our YouTube channel and the next stimulus package and possibly the next stimulus check. Multiple different states are sending out stimulus checks and tax rebate checks and pausing gas taxes. And there's going to be more to come here as multiple different states are proposing even more here. And I'll keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, we're going to cover how President Biden has just sold off millions of barrels of our oil overseas. That's right. And also how there's new relief coming to millions of Americans as well. So kind of the good and bad here. We got a lot of different things to talk about here in this video. So let's jump right in. Yeah, as you can see here, President Joe Biden has reportedly exported 5 million barrels of U.S. oil from our strategic oil reserves overseas, despite U.S. gas prices. This is here from the New York Post. This is here from the Independent. President Biden under fire for letting 5 million barrels of oil go overseas as U.S. prices hit record high. The move was widely questioned after gas prices hit all-time highs in June and are still near there. Reuters first reported this here. Oil from U.S. reserves sent overseas as gasoline prices stay high. Yeah, so a lot of people are questioning this move here as they're still releasing about 1 million barrels of oil every single day. Yeah. Yeah, as you can see here, more than 5 million barrels of oil that were part of the historic U.S. emergency reserves released to lower domestic fuel prices were exported to Europe and Asia last month, according to data and sources that have now been released. Even as U.S. gasoline and diesel prices hit record highs. Yeah, so we're exported to Europe and Asia last month. And the president is getting a lot of criticism over this, as a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't we just keep the oil here in the United States? Yeah, so you can let me know your thoughts here on that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I really couldn't even tell you why they would make that decision. The one thing I could tell you is that the price of oil has gone down here. You could see the headlines here. So yeah, so oil tumbles as much as 10% and breaks below $100 a barrel as recession fears mount. So it is a kind of a tale of a double-edged sword here. Oil was below $100 a barrel. It has jumped up a little bit here. The most recent numbers here, WTI crude at 102 and Brent crude at 104. WTI crude was down to $98 a barrel. You could see it's jumped up about 3.6% here. You know, this can fluctuate pretty quickly. So we're down significantly. Remember that this was up as high as $135 a barrel a few months ago. But I mean, you could see the headline here just from, this was like from 24 hours ago, or maybe a little bit more than that. So oil has dropped here pretty dramatically. And I'll show you a couple other headlines here. Gas prices, this is from the New York Post. Gas prices could dip below $4 a gallon in parts of the U.S., analysts say. And here from Business Insider, U.S. gas prices have now dropped for 21 days in a row, the longest streak since the start of the pandemic. But the problem here is that gas prices are near or were at all-time highs. So, like I said, it's a tale of a double-edged sword, right? I mean, it's dropping, but you know, uh, I mean, this is good news that it's starting to drop, but the bad news is that we were at all-time highs. So, yeah, and this was actually from July 5th, so a few days ago. I don't have I mean, I don't have a recent headline here, so I don't know. I think we're still dropping. So, yeah, and in fact, when you look at the gas prices here today, AAA says we are still dropping. So yeah, when you look at the national gas prices here, um, yeah, I mean, yesterday was 477. Today is 475. So we are still dropping here. Diesel dropping a little bit here as well. 469 yesterday. I'm sorry, 569. God bless me. Um, 571 yesterday. 475 for regular gas. Of course, this is the average prices across the US. Some places are going to be lower, some places are going to be higher, like California, which is, as you can see here, 618 for the price of gas in California. That's actually down 3 cents just from yesterday and 10 cents from a week ago. So, as you can see here, gas prices are dropping every single day. But as you can see here, still really, really high. We need this to continue. So it's down like 23 days in a row. We got this headline here from Business Insider. It was down for 21 days in a row as of 2 days ago, and it's still dropping. So we do have gas prices down 23 days in a row here now, but we need this to continue. So you let me know, is this because of the releasing of the strategic oil reserve? Is this because of, who knows what? Is this just market fluctuation? You know, it- you know, yeah. So Biden under criticism today for sending that oil overseas. But if you've been watching me for a long time, I mean, I get it. I totally get the criticism. It's fair. Um, but remember, as I've always said, and I've said this before, and I'm not trying to defend him at all. Oil is a global market, so that's why the you've heard it said all the time that the Russia Ukraine war is affecting oil prices because what is happening over there is affecting oil prices around the world. So the supply over there actually raises prices over here. And you've heard me say that um, even if we don't buy any Russian oil at all, and even if we kept all of our own oil here in the US completely, this would still affect gas prices. So if we kept all of our oil, so remember that we are the largest producer of gas in the world. Uh, the United States is, but we export and import oil and gas. Okay, and there's different kinds of crude, there's different kinds of oil, there's different kinds of natural gas, there's several different kinds of crudes and gases. Okay, and the gas companies, BP, Shell, Exxon, ConocoPhillips, all these different companies, they're actually exporting and importing all at the same time based on what they determine is most profitable for them and stuff. Okay, and where the market needs what. Okay, so especially right now, Europe is in more demand for oil because they're weaning off of Russian oil as well, and they're trying not to buy it. We weaned off it as well, but we only bought anywhere from like 3 to 8% of our oil from Russia, so we could literally just say nope, we don't need it, and we didn't even. It wasn't even a big deal. We could just literally just use a little bit more of our own oil. Didn't even need it. Okay. So we were actually supplying some of our oil to Russia, or I'm sorry, to Europe. Scratch that. Reverse that. So we're supplying some of our oil to Europe, but again, it's not really an issue because we have enough oil. We are actually energy independent. Okay, we have enough oil for ourselves. We export some and import some. It's just kind of the way the economy works, okay? Going all the way back to when they signed that, when Congress passed that law that said we're going to allow a more free market so we could sell some oil and buy some oil, and it's more of a free market. So that's just kind of the way things work, okay? But what it does is when they're releasing this extra oil, 1 million barrels per day, and the I let me see here, it's the the IEA, which is the International Energy Agency over in Europe, also plans to release, or is right now, because this is back from April, is also releasing 120 million barrels of oil as well, in addition to also try to lower the price of oil. And remember, the price of oil is around $100 a barrel. So it has come down around 35%. Now, the question here is that how do we get gas companies to stop price gouging? Because the oil price of oil is down 35%. The price of gas should be down 35% here as well. So that's kind of the next thing that the world, not just the US, but all these governments need to work on here as well. Also, today here, Derek Chauvin, the police officer in the George Floyd case, was just sentenced to 21 years in federal prison. You can see the headline here from CBS News for violating George Floyd's civil rights, as he died during that whole, I don't even know what you would call it. Um, Murder, I guess, would be the appropriate word, because he was found guilty of it. But he was just sentenced here today to 21 years in federal prison. Yeah, yeah. So that sentencing just happened here today, believe it or not. It's been quite a while, quite a while. Wow. Yeah. So he was sentenced to 21 years in federal prison, and he pleaded guilty in December, and he will also be required to pay restitution. I don't know how much money he's going to have to do that, but I find that interesting as well. Let me know your thoughts here on this. During the sentencing, U.S. District Judge Paul Magnuson said that Chauvin must be held responsible for his actions, including destroying the lives of the other 3 officers involved in Floyd's death. Chauvin's plea deal, which Magnuson accepted in May, called for a sentence of 20 to 25 years. Magnuson shaved 7 months off the 21-year sentence for time already served. Last year, Chauvin was convicted in a state court on murder and manslaughter charges related to Floyd's death and sentenced to 22 and a half years. He will serve the state and federal sentences concurrently in a federal prison. Prior to his sentencing, Chauvin wished Floyd's children, quote, all the best in their lives and that they have excellent guidance in becoming good adults. But he did not offer an apology. Floyd's brother asked the judge for a life sentence, adding that he has had nightmares since his brother's death. Okay, also, we have several different student loan forgiveness programs that have just been changed or rebuffed here as of yesterday. 4 student loan forgiveness programs might become easier to qualify. Here's what you need to know. Biden's education department just proposed a student loan forgiveness revamp so borrowers don't have to jump through hoops for debt relief. Yeah, and you could see here also a new student loan company is now taking over the accounts of public service seeking debt cancellation. That company will be named. You will receive notice of your transfer at least 15 days before it occurs. A notification from the company Mohela, Mohela, once your transfer is complete, if you're in the public service loan forgiveness programs. So, yes, here's what kind of just is happening right now. The student loan industry is on track for major reforms. On Wednesday, President Joe Biden's Education Department released a list of proposed improvements to four major student loan forgiveness programs. And remember, there's been a lot of student loans that have been forgiven recently here. Up to $25 billion have already been forgiven over the past, like this year and last year. From easing access to relief for public servants, people that work in the public sector, and those that have been defrauded by for profit schools and schools that have closed on people, and for people that have permanent disabilities, to tackling surging interest on student loans. The proposed rules cover a range of areas that borrowers have struggled with and the department plans to prioritize. Quote, "We are committed to fixing a broken system." This has been around for many, many years. "If a borrower qualifies for student loan relief, it shouldn't take mountains of paperwork or a law degree to obtain it," says Education Secretary Miguel Cardona in a statement. "Student loan benefits also should not be so hard to get that borrowers never actually benefit from them." The list of proposals is part of the department's rulemaking process, and the next step for these rules is a 30-day public comment period in which anyone can submit feedback on the proposals. The department will then plan to finalize rules by November 1st and implement them no later than July 1st, 2023. If you are enrolled or planning to apply for a loan forgiveness program, here's what these new rules could mean for you. Borrower's Defense to Repayment is a student loan forgiveness program for borrowers who believe they were defrauded by a for profit school, allowing them to submit a borrower defense claim for relief. And that this will apply to all claims made as of or before July 1st, 2023. And that schools that have done misconduct, misrepresentation, contract breaches, or aggressive, misleading contact recruitment strategies, you can get potentially student loan forgiveness on this. And there has been a lot of this done already. I covered this in a recent video. I'll link you to that at the end of this video. Um, yeah, you can see here the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Leading up to Biden's presidency, the loan had a 98% denial rate, which they're working on changing significantly. And you could see kind of some of the changes here. You can pause the screen here for a second if you'd like to. But there's a lot of things here that they're changing here. Military service deferments, National Guard, Peace Corps, and reconsidering applications that were denied. Total and permanent disability discharges. Borrowers who are determined to be totally and permanently disabled by a physician, the Social Security Administration, or the Department of Veterans can qualify for student debt relief. And they're expanding the type of disabilities that will discharge your student loans for this. Yeah, as you can see here. And for schools that closed on you, schools that have shut down in the middle of the borrower's education, leaving them with student debt but no degree, they're trying to provide automatic debt relief, and they have done this already for some schools. So if you think that you might be or you or anybody you know might qualify for some of this, I'll link you to my most recent video where they just announced a whole bunch of schools that already are going to qualify for student loan debt forgiveness. And I'll link you to that video here in a moment. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. You literally just click the subscribe button down below and then click the bell icon so you get notifications. Share this video down below to anybody you know that might qualify for this so they are aware of this. And I will keep you up to date here. This is my most recent video on student loan forgiveness because they just had a bunch of it that is approved. You can click on that video next, or you can click on this video here to see my most recent video on stimulus checks that are going out here in a bunch of states, and there will be more here soon as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.